I don't even really know how to describe what I just saw. Here at MetLife Stadium, it's Monday night, Tuesday morning now technically. It's pretty cold, it's windy, and the Giants just played the Packers and they won 24-22. It's finals week. Fordham just beat North Texas at the Barclays Center. They got St. John's on Saturday. There's a lot going on this week, but this game took center stage tonight. And let me tell you, probably the best Giants game I've ever been to. And I mentioned the final score, 24-22. When you hear a final score like that, you know that something weird happened there. That's not really a common final score. Let me break it all down for you. It was Tommy DeVito getting the start under center once again for the Giants, the hometown kid, and he showed out. 17-21 for 158 yards and a touchdown. Also provided some rushing on the ground. But it was the Packers that actually got the scoring started early. Green Bay punching a touchdown, the lone score of the first quarter. It was 7-0. But in the second quarter, the Giants, they came right back. Saquon Barkley, a bit of a 5-yard run there, 7-7 ball game. Packers had a field goal before half. It's 10-7, but the Giants, they get the ball to start the second half, and they took full advantage of it. Well, actually, let me actually explain what happened. The Giants actually punted in their first drive of the second half, but the Packers muffed that punt. Giants recovered. Then Tommy DeVito said, hey, I want to rush for 26 yards. Yeah, he ran up the middle, 26 yards, dove into the end zone. His knee was down short of the line, the goal line. Giants at the 1. They hand it to Saquon. Touchdown G-Men, 14-10. Giants back on top. The rest of the scoring went a little something like this. The Packers scored a field goal, 14-13. Giants still on top. And then the Giants came right back. They scored another touchdown. Tommy DeVito hits Isaiah Hodgins in the back right corner of the end zone. Hodgins gets both feet down. A beautiful sequence, just amazing play by DeVito and by Hodgins. And with the Randy Bullock PAT, the Giants are up 21-13 going into the fourth quarter. The Packers weren't done yet. You know, this, I was going to say, felt a lot like a Jets home game, and you're probably saying, well, why? A lot of green at MetLife Stadium. The Packer faithful, they showed up in large numbers. You know, a lot of history between these two teams. The Packers arguably had more to play for today than the Giants. They were 6-6 going into this game, trying to make a playoff push. That's neither here nor there now, as they did lose tonight. But in the fourth quarter, I mentioned the Packers, they made a push, started with a field goal, and then a Malik Heath touchdown. Jordan Love hit him. This really beautiful play. I believe it was third or fourth and goal. It was the Packers were basically down to their last play, only $1:33 left in the fourth quarter. Jordan Love hits Malik Heath, and Malik Heath catches it on the sidelines, stretches out, barely breaks the plane before he goes out of bounds. But it is a Packers touchdown. The Packers are back on top now, 22-21. They like to go for 2, but do not get it. Of course, the 2 points would have given them a 24-21 lead. You want to go up 3, right? Because the Giants are going to have a chance to tie it with a field goal. But they didn't get the 2 points. It's 22-21 Packers, and they left the door open for Tommy Cutlets. Mr. DeVito, the hometown kid, did exactly what none of us expected him to do, which was lead a legacy drive. A couple really big plays, got them in the field goal range, and Randy Bullock hits a 37-yard field goal as time expires, and the Giants win 24-22 here at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Again, just an amazing game from start to finish, and some notes for the game. I mentioned the stat line of Tommy DeVito. How about Saquon Barkley, 20 carries for 86 yards and 2 scores, and then Wan'Dale Robinson leading Big Blue in the receiving yards department, 6 receptions, 479 yards, including a really big one on their final drive that helped get them into field goal range. Wan'Dale's really establishing himself as a key piece of this passing game for the Giants. The Packers on the other side of things didn't look so great. Jordan Love threw for about 218 yards, 1 touchdown and 1 interception. A.J. Dillon rushed for about 53 yards. And, you know, the Packers, not getting this game done, they're now 6-7, and they have to fight a lot harder to make the playoffs. The Giants, meanwhile, improved to 5-8, and they're only a game out of that final playoff spot, which the Packers now currently have, that 7 seed. Now, there are a lot of teams that have that 6-7 or 5-8 record, so a lot can happen. But the Giants, they go and visit New Orleans next week, and hey, if they win that game, New Orleans is one of those teams that is a game ahead of the Giants. I'm just saying, anything could happen. This is December football. This is the New York Giants, and look, it makes the Jets and the Bills loss hurt a lot more, right? Remember that Jets loss? Zach Wilson gets sacked. The Giants get the ball back. They basically are going to seal the game. They miss the field goal, and the Jets get the ball back with 24 seconds, and Zach Wilson leads them down, ties it. They win in overtime. And then the Bills, you remember the end of that game, the pass to Darren Waller in the end zone that should have been pass interference. Those are 2 games that the Giants easily could have won, and if they had won those 2 games, all of a sudden the Giants, they're 7-6. Now again, close only counts, in horseshoes and hand grenades. That's what they say. The Giants are 5-8. That's the way it is now, and they can only control what's in front of them. Brian Daboll was very excited about this win, and here's what he had to say after the game.
But he's improving. Still got stuff to work on, but like I said 2-3 times last week, I think he's a young player that's doing the right things, making the most of his opportunity. Earned the right to play today, and he earned the right to play the next week. Kid's done a good job.
Dave, that's sort of an adjustment you made at halftime. It seemed like he came out
with the quarterback stuff.
Yeah, with some zone.
Yeah, I'd say we ran more. Yeah, that's something that give Kafka and Bobby Johnson a lot of credit of the discussion kind of right even before half, leading into it. We hit that one big one where he kind of ran into Wandell. But there was a lot of good discussion on the sideline, in the headset at halftime, spearheaded by Kafka and Bobby.
Again, as I mentioned, the Giants, they'll go on the road. They'll visit New Orleans at the Superdome next weekend. I believe it's a 1 o'clock game, a big game with playoff implications. I can't believe I'm saying that given where the Giants were just a few weeks ago, but here we are. You never know with this team. Very exciting things. Tommy DeVito, the hometown kid, you gotta love it. After the New Orleans game, they'll play at Philadelphia on Christmas Day, which is a Monday, and then they'll come back here to host the Rams on New Year's Eve. I'll be there to cover it, and from now until then, for WFUV Sports, I'm Brij Gautam.